Are there any questions about Proposition 14? We have a microphone.
Oh. Governor, you said you wanted to take this initiative to other states. What will you do to, will you campaign in other states? Will you start a nonprofit organization? How will you make that happen?
First of all, we like to celebrate this victory for a little longer before we go right back to work. But I mean, I think that the important thing is, by nature, that whatever California does, other states are looking very carefully. And it also, by nature, the national government, everyone looks at it. The national media looks at it and look at it. It's just exactly how did we do that? And this is exactly us. We will see states showing interest. We will go and help them and give them the information, share the information through the various different organizations, and through our office. We are always available for help on those things. If it is with our environmental issues, or if it is with education issues, or if it is our other issues, we always like to share with the other states.
Governor, one of the changes that an open primary might bring about is that it may cost candidates 4 times more to run or win a primary. They might be less beholden to the party line, but more beholden to special interests, contributions, campaign dollars that they're trying to get. What's your response to that? And also, what's your response to the threat of a lawsuit from the major parties have promised, and also the independent parties?
Well, first of all, I think we expect lawsuits being filed, because as much as there's special interests, like the parties and so on, they want to hold on to the status quo, as much as we are interested in creating change and making the system work. They want to hold on and make it so that it doesn't work. So in both sides you will have the same kind of energy. But in the end, I think we will prevail, because I think that ours has been based on the Washington State's open primary system, which has been approved by and has passed the Supreme Court. So therefore, I'm not concerned about that. But there will be lawsuits filed inevitably, yes. That's number one. Number two, as you know, we had the open primaries. It was voted in 1996. And so in 1998 and in the year 2000, there were 2 years when they had open primaries. There was no unusual expenditure that was spent or unusual amount of money that had to be raised because of those open primaries. So everything stayed normal. But what it does do is, like I said, you have to appeal to both parties. When you go out as a candidate, this time, as you could see, the Republican candidates had to paint themselves way to the right. And the Democratic candidates had to paint themselves way to the left. Well, when they win, now they are way to the right and way to the left. How can they ever come together? So what we want to do is we want to just move that in a little bit. As you have heard other speakers say, we don't want them to change their ideology. We don't want them to change their philosophy. We don't want to change their beliefs. None of that. What we want to do is just to say, look, only together we can fix this problem. So let's sit down. How do we come up with an agreement, a compromise? And we want to be in a situation where we don't punish compromise and reward getting stuck in ideological corners, because this way you can't get anything done. And that's why this capital so many times is frozen. They can't address the main issues that are facing, the main challenges that are facing our state. And that's what you see, as the Lieutenant Governor was saying, in other states and also in Washington. They can't get anything done because everyone is fighting all the time. We are not sending them to fight. We are sending them to resolve and to solve problems. That's why we send people to Washington. That's why people send the politicians to Sacramento here, to solve problems. Well, we know we have certain problems. Let's solve it, rather than just pickering about all those things. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here. Will it solve all of the problems? Of course not. That's not what we are saying. It will help solve more problems.
The chairman of your own party has said that as a result of this, that the Republican Party will go to a kind of nominating convention, so that now instead of 5 million Republicans voting on the Republican gubernatorial candidate, there'll be a handful of party officials, and that in fact that'll lead to an even more hardline, party representative in the future.
Well, we appreciate the opinion, but I think, and we all know, that it will be appealing and it will give power back to the people. And you have to understand who said that. The parties, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, despise this. Why? Because it takes power away from them and gives it back to the people. So parties don't like that. What the parties like is they like to control their politicians. They like to tell them what to do and how they have to vote up here at the Capitol. And that's why we don't get things done. What we want to do is make people go out and be responsible and accountable to the people, not to their party. That's why I said earlier we want to have our politicians be public servants rather than party servants. Yeah, there's one more.
Well, it's unrelated to Prop 14, but just curious about the budget. You have a trade mission scheduled in September. I mean, isn't that a little optimistic?
You know, I don't want to do the rose garden kind of situation here, where we get frozen and not do anything else but wait here until the 120 legislators up there start moving slowly with the budget. So we have to go on trade missions because California has the best products in the world. We have the best state, the best place, the best weather, the best country, the best countryside, the best things, Hollywood and San Diego, San Francisco, the beautiful Sacramento, all this great high-tech, biotech, all of those great things, agriculture, entertainment. We want to sell that worldwide. That's how you can be successful. And since we are talking about a shortage of revenues, there is no better way of creating revenues by stimulating business, creating jobs, and selling our goods and exporting overseas. So this is what the trade mission is all about. Trade missions are very, very good, and they help stimulate and they help create some action. And so we're going to go on a trade mission for a few days only, not for long, for a few days, to spice up a little bit of our great partnerships we have with China, great partnerships we have in Japan and in Korea, South Korea. So that's what we're going to do. And there will be other missions. I will be also going to Europe sometimes before the end of this year to go on a trade mission and to drum up some more business. And remember, the other thing that's very important for us is high-speed rail. And those are countries that have the high-speed rail, and so we want to study carefully. I take some experts with me to study carefully all the different high-speed rails all over the world. Who should build and help us build our high-speed rail? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. You all have a good time.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you.